I guess all those cannabis stocks have, well, record highs. Here with me is Matt Cheslock.
Hope they don't flame out.
Definitely not, but it looks like investors have the munchies because risk appetite is on.
Yeah, I mean, if these are going to become mainstream products, you're going to have a whole new investor base that's going to get in. This is no longer just taking a shot on maybe like some kind of hippie type stock. That's not the case anymore. These are becoming mainstream, and you're seeing the investment and the psychology of the public that wants to invest in it. They're paying ridiculous prices right now.
Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing record highs in the market. What's attributable to that?
Well, this market has always been strong. The underlying currents of this market have been good for so long. It's always been other things. It's been miscellaneous things like politics and trade tariffs. So if we can get those in line, this next couple of weeks look good until we get to the midterm elections, and then that becomes the next hiccup for the market.
A next hiccup. So we could see something to the downside.
I mean, we could. The market has been resilient. So, a hiccup may be a small pullback where people are willing to put their money back in, but then you start another new year, and then you have all kinds of tax reasons for buying and selling things. So it becomes a little dicey as you get to the end of the year, but these next 5 or 6 weeks probably set up to be pretty good.
Have a rebalance tomorrow, a couple rebalances tomorrow. That's going to create a lot of volume. And at record highs, doesn't that usually flip the coin? They take the reverse side of the trade?
Well, you see a run-up into some of these things that are being added or increase their percentage holdings in the S&P and things like that. So you've seen a run-up in some of those, and you might see a little bit of a retracement on that side of it. But, any kind of strength and volume does give a seller an opportunity to get involved. So the question is, are you selling the whole position? Are you selling little pieces of it? Because you don't want to miss these runs. People have been climbing this wall of worry for so long. We're going to see this massive retracement, and we're not seeing it, so you're afraid to miss this market right now. I don't see a whole lot of people selling into strength now. I see them more buying into strength than selling, and that's normally probably why this market has seen all-time highs.
So who are going to be the major players in the rebalances tomorrow in terms of, is anyone entering or any major position changes percentage-wise?
Well, it used to be a one-day event. When I started down here 25 years ago, it was a one-day event. If you were a fund that needed to own a certain percentage of a stock, you bought it on the Friday of the rebalance. Now the model comes out a couple weeks before, and you see that you leg into that position over the course of 2 weeks. So tomorrow's volume will just be like a catch-up, and you'll see more probably on the opposite side because they are going to hopefully account for that particular volume on the one day. But if it's going to be added to an index, you're going to start to see that probably that position has been built up over the course of the last week or two.
Well, I don't know if the cannabis stocks are giving us some I don't know, secondary smoke. Is that what it's called? Secondary smoke high, because bond yields are also high. So riddle me this. I thought that it can either be like there's a bond sell-off that means we're going into equities, or I thought when there's a bond sell-off that could be that's a bad thing. That means that we're all going to sell off. So how do you look at it?
Well, I mean, we've been expecting the 10-year to go through 3 for quite some time, and we're going to have a Fed that's going to be hiking rates probably next week, and I would think in December based on some of the data that we've seen. So I'm not surprised to see the bond yield go up. And then that means that probably, bonds are going down. Where are they putting that money? Maybe they're putting it in equities. I mean, you're at an all-time high here. As I said, you're buying this strength now. You're not seeing the selling in strength and then buying protection in maybe some utility index or some bonds. You're just not seeing that right now. People are focused on equities right now because that's where the return is.
Like life is like back to the stock market. We had the summer off. We kind of had a low volume September. And then yesterday I have Cheslock being like, oh my God, did you see Tilray? Like so much stuff is going on.
Yeah, but all we need is a 100-point down day in the Dow, and people are going to reverse their thinking, their psychology. But when your market's up 200 points in 2 consecutive days right now, and you're showing signs of strength, and you're showing some kind of conciliatory gestures both out of the U.S. and China in this trade tariffs by not imposing the maximum tariff percentage, the market is responding accordingly.
Well, for now, we will celebrate right into the weekend. Matt Cheslock, thank you so much. Great combo today.
All right, anytime.